So I just had a really interesting night. I am sitting trying to rest for a while before driving home because I have had three alcoholic beverages in the last probably 3 hours. And so right now, I think I would pass an alcohol test. I don't think I would get a DUI. I think I'm under the limit, but I am gonna wait a while to make sure I'm completely under the limit. And while I'm sitting here, I was gonna tell you about my night, which is when I am. The reason that I decided to drink is that I didn't drink for New Year's Eve, so I had some customers who I was having a conversation with, and they seemed like they were really interesting and interested in continuing. They were captains, like literally airplane pilots, and I was like, wow, I would never meet a pilot in another circumstance, so I would love to be able to chat with them and find out more about what their lives are like and stuff. We got in, they sat down, and turns out they were very distracted, looking at their phones, looking for their wallets. I ended up buying my own drinks, but they were a reasonable price, and so I continued to stay there. And what else happened is that I met a Filipino or some kind of Asian person who was not very interested when I talked about Star Wars to him. Same with a white dude who I kind of insulted because he wasn't responding to the way I talked to him. What I said to him when I asked him about Star Wars and he really didn't have anything to contribute. I was just like, doesn't seem like you're the smartest. I don't think you're like a very educated profession. He was like, okay. And he did not confirm or deny. So I'd be very curious to find out what his situation is, if he is maybe very super educated and that's why he took it wrong, or he's really resentful of not being educated, or what's going on with his life, or uh, yeah, he just didn't think that somebody who was drunk should have anything to say about a stranger, which I guess is fair. But the main thing that happened tonight is that I met a lady named Shakira and her mom Julie, and they and I talked about a variety of things. But because they're total strangers who I have met tonight, I felt free to talk about racial issues with them, and so too, apparently I aggravated both of them because I brought up reparations and the monkey stereotype to them, and between both those things, Julie and her daughter had different perspectives, and Julie ended up kind of walking away after a certain point, and her daughter was just like, "Oh, she's fine. She can take care of herself, whatever." And so yeah, it's really interesting that those were the two topics that kind of like started a conflict or very different points of view from those two. Basically, whether or not Shaniqua should get her hair done, and whether or not black people and monkeys is a fair comparison are the 2 points of contention there. And then let's see. Oh, I just was gonna also share, like, after Julie left in a huff, what's her name? Shakira and I talked about a variety of different things, uh, like porn and biracial children, and gosh, what else? I mean, those are the main main things that come to mind. Oh, education, like what we think about education, and yeah. So it was a very interesting conversation. It was really fun to meet somebody who was a educated person. She was talking about how if she had money for reparations, she would use it on her masters, and so gave me the impression, okay, she has a bachelor's, and so she really wants to further herself, and yeah, I think somebody who's really, into education has a lot in common with myself because I really would like to further my education. So, anyway, yeah, I thought I would record this while I was not completely 100% sober to be able to look back tomorrow and be like, what? What happened last night? Compare and contrast what I remember now versus what I remember tomorrow morning. Bye.